You now tuned into the hottest podcast in the world, the Stay Woke Podcast, right here on the Thesonicbreakdown.com.
Welcome back to another Stay Woke Podcast. This is D. Ray Brinson, and you know the Stay Woke Podcast is presented by Thesonicbreakdown.com. So if you haven't read a review, you slip it.
I think the first thing is that people got to realize is like Jay-Z even said, it's a quote that's out there like, music is 90% business and 10% talent.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've been doing music now for over 10 years, had extreme highs, extreme lows. You realize that statement is true though. Like, you could have a dope product, you could have dope music, but if your business isn't right to complement that, like, you're wishing, you're hoping, you know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure whatever type of music you're making, you have your business infrastructure set up to capitalize and to really be the foundation of that. And I learned that firsthand. Like, I learned that even going through like my whole first situation with Who Booty, when I got signed to Sony Epic with L.A. Reid, and just really, honestly, it was my first rodeo. And like, knowing what I know now, I realized that my business wasn't, my team and my structure wasn't all the way tight. Because if it was, I would be in a different space, but we didn't get to capitalize on some of the things because it wasn't right. So that's, you know, you got different parts of this game. It's like you got the music aspect, which of course, like, it's always first for me because like the music speaks first. But it's funny if you look at some of the different artists and stuff in the game right now, it's not really about the music no more. It's like people's brands. Like, you can have a crazy social media following, okay music, but be popping and touring all over. You know what I'm saying? So it's just different ways to break it down, but your business has gotta be A1. Gotta be. My mindset had to switch. So before I came in, like, you know how the Bay, we always like really talk about like the independent grind and how we do everything ourselves. So that's kind of how I came into the game. Like, I came in through a group called The Outfit. We were all from the Bay. And it was just that though, like we pretty much set everything up ourselves. We did our own shows. We pretty much damn near managed ourselves, you know what I'm saying? So when I ended up going solo and then I got signed, I ended up getting real management, but I was still in that mindset like, nah, I gotta be in all my business decisions, which is really hard because like when you're worried about the business and being an artist,
there's too many things.
It's too many things to like focus on. So during that time, I had to step back. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna actually just focus on being an artist, making sure my show, my interviews, my music, everything artist-wise is on point, and I'm gonna let the people who I had as my management do the business side. And looking back at it, the funny thing is, like, I think it might not have been the best choice, which is crazy. So I think the key is now, though, what I've learned is you always want to be involved. So I actually, you know, I've been blessed because, like, for Who Booty, right, when I got signed, that song was already working independently and organically. So when I got signed, the label came on to something that was already working. And then they just put their resources in and took it over the top.
Gotcha.
So I still had creative control. And then around that time, like, I was working on an album with Epic. It never came out. Like, it ended up getting released before then. But, like, on my album I was working on, I still had creative control. They were like, yo, what producers do you want to work with and stuff, and helping me, like, set up the sessions and stuff like that. But it was nobody dictating, like, this is what you have to do, this is who you are, this is your branding. It was still me. And then fast forward to after Epic, I signed with the independent label, where I had a record with 50 Cent and Kid Ink that came out. I still had my creative control. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was new shit. Yeah. So I was able to still be able to maintain that control of kind of where I see things and who I want it to be. Because, I mean, you know, you hear stories all the time where they try to manufacture like an artist and the branding, which goes against who they are and how they feel and all that. So I've been blessed to not have to face that. I've kind of always had like my creative control. Even like I'm big on like writing my own material. So like but I do a lot of co-writing too. So even if I co-write or whatever, I'm still navigating the direction of the song.
Gotcha.
I do get songs written for me and submitted as well, but if I'm gonna cut that type of record that's just given to me, it still has to resonate with me. Like New Chick. Like when I got with that situation, that was already written. It was already with the independent label of being a part of. So that song came through the independent label, but it's still the content related to me, so I had no problem with recording it.
How do you get into that zone? What is your process?
For me, it comes different ways. Like I've been a creative person all the way for a while. Like
as
I
long as
used
I know.
I used to act and do. You know what I'm saying? So like I've been like a creative like since I can remember. For me, the process is nothing like the process is so dope because it's just like it's like art. Like how I look at it when I'm doing a record, like it's no different than a painter coming and have all these the colors and they just get that blank canvas and then go. Or a screenwriter who's writing a play or a movie or whatever, or an author writing a book. It's the same thing. It's just like we go in the lab. Sometimes, for me, the process is different. Sometimes, like, I may just hear a beat. And then I'll be like, okay, that beat gives me a certain vibe, whether it's a trap beat, dark, or a up-tempo pop beat or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how the song is shaped based off of whatever I feel from the music.
How the music resonates with you.
Exactly. That's one way. The other way is I might have, like, a melody or just something like some lyrics or something, and then I go in with the producer and be like, yo, this is kind of what I'm thinking, let's create something from scratch from this.
Okay.
So it's like the creative process comes all different type of ways. Like, so for Who Booty, right, I woke up one morning and I just had the who booty is it, who booty, that was just those lines were stuck in my head, like just that, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So
I'm
I was like, all right, whatever that is. And then so I went and I got with my producer Ross Move, who I did a lot of work with. And I was like, I sung that to him. I was like, yo, I want to make a song based off this. I sung that, just that part of the hook to him. And we ended up making the beat from scratch right there. And we wrote the rest of the record right there from scratch. And so that's just one way of how it goes. But the creative process comes in all different forms. I could be in the shower and just think of something or start humming something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's dope. I just feel like as I've done my own projects, and then as I'm a fan of music, so I listen to a lot of music as well. As I listen to other people's albums and projects, that just resonates and I gravitate towards those storyline albums that's just like it's cohesive, it makes sense, it leads into one of the like I remember that Justin Timberlake album that it was a while ago, but Timberland did like the whole thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And each song, like at the end, it had like a section after the song that led into the next song, like stuff like that is super dope. Like that, or like again, like whether you're doing an album and then you have skits, like your little skits in between the interludes to bring it all together. Like I want to do something like that. Like I am. Like I haven't started that yet, but I know whenever I start the album, that's what it's gonna be. Okay. Like it's hands down.
I got you, and that makes sense. Let's talk about the your upcoming project a little bit. We don't want to give out too many secrets.
Yeah.
But you said that you're working on an EP.
Working on an EP, probably gonna be between 6 and 8 records. I still have like the thing about how I record is like there's never not a time where I don't have like sitting on my laptop tons of unreleased music. So right now if I wanted to put out the EP right now, it's done. But I'm always trying to one-up it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always trying to keep recording. So
you don't stay complacent.
Yeah, so you don't stay complacent. And when you can sit in the studio when you're trying to figure out the appropriate track listing and play dozens of records to choose 6 or 8, like it's way better than playing 10 and be like, okay, I gotta get 8. You know what I'm saying? Like so,
it's better to have and not need.
Exactly. So it'll be 6 to 8 song EP. I'm well into it. I'm trying to get it out in April.
Okay.
Sometime April-ish. You never know how things go, but I'll say April. I don't have a title yet.
Okay. We're definitely going to hit the Stable family and the Sonic Breakdown family with the details when we get closer to that time. So.
But to lead into that, though, I dropped a record with my Bay Area brother Love Rants in January. It's called What You Finna Do. It's actually doing really well. It's
a good track.
It ended up getting picked up by a Spotify playlist. So it's been jumping like 18,000 plays a day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we're already at like 400 plus thousand, and we just dropped it not too long ago. So it's been doing good. The video to that comes out this Wednesday, so check that out. And then next month, I have my next month release. I'm gonna do with it's called Hammer Time, and that's featuring Neff DeFaro and Clyde Carson, two of my other Bay Area. Bay Area. I want to, like, for the beginning of this year, I said I'm tapping back in at home. like I've been blessed to travel and do a lot of different stuff. Again, I'm between LA and the Bay currently living wise, but like I'm like, let me get back home. Let me go back to the soil. Like you gotta sometimes you gotta do that and just beat up home and come back and give back and be out in that scene. You know what I'm saying? So these ones are for home. Basically, there's this term that they're calling a new genre right now called R&B. Right? Don't know if you've heard of it, but it's this genre called R&B. Now, that's pretty much the style of music that I've been doing before it was even called classified R&B. And it started with my group, The Outfit. We have a producer, his name is Ross Move. He did Who Booty for me, but he did a lot of records for our group. And that's when we pretty much really solidified this sound. I had this song called Like My Bass back in the group that he produced. That was like really like one of the first records of this R&B genre. Who Booty was the first one that went mainstream and blew up. It went #1 on rhythmic radio. But Like My Bass is probably like the really first R&B record there was. So what it is pretty much is we took hard-hitting 808 beats, anything with bass, you know what I'm saying, that slap. You know, in the Bay Area, we had that term slap, you know what I'm saying? So, like, anything that slaps. We took that and we put melody on top of that, and we're singing melodically on top of that. And that's pretty much the styling. Okay. Which does soften it up, but even the content, though, the content is usually a little edgier than traditional R&B.
Okay,
but then as
the edginess of the bass that you
exactly. Okay. So then after the Who Booty thing went, then it really opened up that genre. Then you had like the same style would be like Ty Dolla $ign Paranoid. If you remember T-Fly's This Deep, 24 Hours T-Fly, my fellow Bear Raven Justice have a big song out here called Slide Through. Adrian Marcel's 2 a.m.
Wow, yeah.
All those would be considered R&B.
Gotcha.
Eric Bellinger, I Don't Wanna. If she ain't looking, I Don't Wanna. You know what I'm saying? All those are R&B. So Who Booty was actually at the forefront of like that whole type of movement. So I mean that's pretty much my style, and it's been that before it was even accepted. Sean Kingston, beat it. That's R&B. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like the style of what we were doing, and that was actually produced by Nick Nack, who's from the Bay. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like that's the style, and it's been that since then. Though I'm evolving. Like so, I'm going to continue to do that because like the people who truly know my music and know me as an artist, they know that that's my thing. But more recently, like I've started this crossover project where I'm taking like my R&B swag and style, but putting it on. We're doing a hybrid with like electronic elements. So it's not like EDM, but it has like certain drops and components in it, just to do something totally different. Because there was a certain point in time where I did feel stagnant and like I felt stagnant doing the R&B thing. So like all last year, I started just experimenting and doing something totally different.